Hello, hello. Mic check.
Mic check, 1, 2.
Loud and clear.
I hate when the music stops. We should have the option for the music to keep going, right? Oh, Kyle. Invite to speak.
What's up, everybody? We're just going to get our speakers up on stage and let a few more people join, and then we are going to kick off episode 36. Appreciate everyone that's joined so far. Let's go.
Can you hear me, Eldar?
Hello.
I can hear you perfectly. Deaf Monkey, you there?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Perfectly.
Your voice is
Awesome.
sounding very sexy, if I must say.
Oh, well, thank you.
Smithy, now we got you.
That's a good start.
Hello, yeah, can you guys hear me?
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for inviting me on.
No worries. We will just let a few more people join, and then we will start. Thank you, guys.
Can I just say again that I hate the fact that the music stops once we start speaking? It's so fucking annoying.
Can I just say there was never actually any music for me?
Really? Oh.
Yeah, there was last time there was
How about
music
you
and I
guys?
did ruin it, but there was no music this time.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Is it the same for you guys? No music in the beginning? Wow. It's just me. I'm having a blast in my bubble. Fantastic.
Okay, we just posted in Discord, so we'll let a few more people join, but I think we are going to kick things off. We've been live for 5 minutes now. So, welcome everybody to episode number 36 of the Tavern here today. The way the Tavern works is we always have two topics, but before we jump into those topics, we like to give you guys a quick update on everything that's happening on Synergy Land or is upcoming with Synergy Land. So I'm going to hand the mic over to my amazing co-host Aries, and she's going to break it down for you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Eldart. So, what's happening on Synergy Land? While we are patiently waiting for our dungeons update, we have stuff going on as well. Carve reset coming up next Monday. So, you might be asking, what is Carve? Well, it is the questing platform we use to engage and reward our community members. All you need to do is connect to Discord and Twitter to Carve and go to our page there, and then join the fun. We host game nights, quiz nights, and even music nights where this person called Aries DJs, and where you can get you can get points for attending these events at our Discord. Those points will make you climb in the leaderboard, and the one we are resetting next Monday. Those at the top of the leaderboard are getting some juicy prizes. So you still have a few days to grind till the next reset. And Twitch and YouTube. Another news today was episode 80 of our Twitch streams. Number 80. Mr. Eldart has been streaming Synergy Land for 80 days. Time flies. You get to see him progress in game and also laugh because he gets trolled by our community and by Madelman, our co-founder. So it's fun times, yeah. Those episodes are also being uploaded to our YouTube channel as gameplay footage to get you the most info, help, value for our new players joining Synergy Land. So I think it's valuable for everyone. And by the way, you can earn Carve points by joining our daily streams. Okay, that's it for today. Let's jump in. Mr. Eldart, back to you.
Thank you very much. Great update from you. I just wanted to let everyone know if you are interested in looking at our Carve leaderboard or getting more information regarding it, I've pinned a tweet with the link to our Carve page and also our Discord if you do have any questions regarding it. Obviously, the reset's happening on Monday, so maybe don't start doing missions right now, as obviously the reset is literally happening first of next week. Anyway, okay, so before we jump into topic number one, I would like our guests to introduce themselves. So, handing the mic over to Carl with the sexy voice, please introduce yourself, sir.
Kyle with the sexy voice just had mic problems. Um, My name is Kyle. I am the video lead at Treasure, and I make videos, and I try to make them funny, and I try to make them fun, and I try to make them fast, just like this intro.
Absolutely love it, and I did say to you over on Discord, but I love the video you made on Synergy Land about the rabbits. Me and Aries were literally laughing out loud when we watched that together. So that was an awesome video.
Dude, I've gotten some weird comments on that video on the YouTube. Like a lot of people commenting, I'm not sure if they're joking about the rabbits that they've been killing at their homesteads. So that's had an interesting response.
Yeah, and let's leave it there if they are kidding or not. I'm afraid of the answers as well. But it was very, very cool video,
Thank you.
Kyle. Awesome.
Okay, I appreciate the short and sweet intro, Carl. So Smithy Dow, obviously, you guys, this is not your first appearance on the Tavern. I think this is your third, maybe even fourth appearance here. But for anyone that is new to Smithy Dow, please give us a quick intro onto kind of what you guys are trying to achieve and anything new you guys have planned.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I think so. I'm Crafty Pie. I'm one of the sort of co-owners over at Smithy Down. I think last time Shadow was on here and I couldn't make it. Whereas this time it's the other way around. He can't make it and I'm here. But yeah, I think the first time I was on was like that was months ago. That was quite a few months ago. So yeah, it's come quite a long way since then. But yeah, so basically I'm as I said, I'm one of the co-owners at Smithy Down. I do everything that I can do, dev, design, even making videos on our YouTube and stuff. I sort of put my hand wherever I can, to be honest. But yeah, in terms of what we've got coming up is pretty similar to you guys in the sense that we've got this dungeon crawling game coming out. Although thankfully, I think that both our dungeon crawler experiences are going to be quite different so that people, so that there's not too much clash between us, if that makes sense. But yeah, so that's the next thing immediately coming out in the next sort of month or two. We'll get people playing that along with our social hub, which is like a big MMO space we're releasing. And yeah, that's pretty much the next big thing coming out. But I'll try and keep it short and sweet. I won't go on too much.
No worries. Well, thank you very much, Crafty Pie. I mean, we're going to come back to you towards the end of the space and try and squeeze a little bit more Smithy Alpha out of you. But if that's the quick intros done, I guess we will just dive straight into topic numero uno for today's space. We do like to try and keep the space nice and quick. So the topic number one is the process of creating content in Web3. Obviously, as Aries said, I'm doing Twitch streams. It's not every day, it's every weekday. So 5 days a week, I'm live on Twitch and I've been absolutely loving it. And then, of course, we turn the Twitch streams into short form content and also long form content. So Aries is taking the streams and making them into long form YouTube videos for us. And then I'm taking the streams and turning them into short form clips where we're posting them on Twitter, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram Reels. So I guess it would only be right to come to you, Mr. Kyle, and get your opinion on your process of creating content in Web3. I'm hoping I can learn a thing or two.
Oh man. Yeah, where do we even start? I guess my process is a lot of drugs and procrastination. No, I'm kidding. It's more a lot of drugs and procrastination. No. It's been years is really what it's been. I did all my drugs in my younger years, a lot of psychedelics. That opened my mind to the ways of creating content in a speedy fashion that lets you just sort of flow and understand where your own personal weirdness can come from. So I think it all sort of started when I was a kid. I grew up in Los Angeles around the film industry, and that was always sort of my dream. So I pursued that like vehemently. I was just watching movies and consuming everything I could for years, and that led into video games. And then when social media got popular, like back when Instagram was first popping off and YouTube, I was moved into a house with a bunch of roommates that I met in film school, and we started making music videos. And that was like the crucial point for me in learning how to actually like generate content quickly, because you had to pitch videos with pitch decks and you had no idea what the company would want, no idea what anything was going to be. You just had a song and you had to come up with something in like 2 days and write a whole concept out and ship it and hope that you got the gig. And so that really instilled a lot of like understanding of how to just write fast and come up with things very quickly, and not put too much importance on a single concept so that you don't get married to it and then get so sad when it doesn't get picked up. And I really carried that through the years. I ended up moving to South Africa at one point and doing a YouTube series there, and that taught me a lot about YouTube itself. Um, and so with those kind of things combined, music video speed and the YouTube knowledge, it's all sort of coalesced for me at this point after spending like, years and years in this industry and doing videos and these kind of things, where I just have a tool set that comes from a lot of practice and a lot of knowledge just learned by trying. But I think the biggest thing for like being creative with these videos is just scouring the internet and scouring crypto Twitter and scouring my own mind. And really, it's all about like what makes me laugh. Like seeing everything I love, and then at a certain point, just like I'll laugh out loud at an idea, and it's like, oh, okay, that's sick, and then I'll write it down. And that's all it is. It's just like sitting there being dumb until something makes me like, oh, smile.
I love that, and I think my favorite thing you said there was like kind of not putting too much into one concept so you don't get married to it. I think that happens a lot. People try to make a masterpiece, and then if that video or piece of content doesn't perform too well, they kind of lose all motivation, kind of
Yeah.
in terms of they feel like they've lost the steam, I guess, that they had. So I think that was super crucial what you said there. I loved that. I'm going to come back to you because I got a few questions for you, but I was just going to hand the mic over to Smithy now. Obviously, Crafty Pie, you said that you've been making some YouTube videos and stuff. So, what's the kind of content you guys are making over at Smithy DAO?
Yeah. So I've got a completely different sort of perspective from Carl, in the sense that I'm really not an expert at making videos. I'm just not. But obviously, something we realised is that we do a lot of work over at Smithy and dev work. And me as a developer, I see a lot of these things come into life by my own hand, or by Shadow or Jeff's hand, or Everbay when he's drawn things out. And when I want to make content, there's long periods of time, and you guys know this essentially. There's long periods of time between when you can get an update out or something, and how do you keep your community engaged and understanding what's going on sort of behind the scenes, so to speak. And that's really important to us because lots of work goes on every day. And when I'm thinking about content, it's like, right, how can I make something that's like a video or something that people will be interested in, will like to see, and will give them a bit of a sneak peek as to what's going on, So yeah, I mean, we only recently started putting videos on YouTube because our marketing was only really putting stuff on Twitter or XI and in our Discord, and because that's just all the time I sort of had with everything else to put content out there. But then I realized, actually, our artwork's really beautiful. Everbay does some fantastic drawings, put a lot of love and care into it. And I was like, this is the sort of stuff that can go on a video, can go out over on YouTube, and not only for Web3 audience, but also for Web2 audience, because our game is like a Web2, Web3 hybrid. We want traditional gamers to come see it. And a lot of traditional gamers, myself included, will look on YouTube at games they're interested in. They might find another title they're interested in and want to get involved with it. And that's one of the main ports of call. So yeah, definitely something. I mean, I released one video on there. I want to do more videos as so there's been lots of stuff we've been working on this past week, made lots of progress, and I'm going to make another video for that sort of next week, just so that players in our own community, but also, other people that might be interested in playing our game or finding out what we're about can look at it, just so they can basically be up to date on that. And in terms of making content from that, I'll make a sort of long form video from that. I mean, I say long form. My first one was only 5 minutes, so it's not like an hour long behemoth. But I'll make that sort of video, and then I'll take a couple snippets from that to make a couple shorts. And yeah, it's pretty much that's my process in regards to that. And I'm still learning quite a lot, and I'm sort of hoping to pick up some tips as well from you guys and Carl and across the internet. so I can sort of build that into our sort of strategy.
Awesome. I mean, I think creating content, whether you're just starting out or whatever, it's such a journey and it's such a process, and there is so much to learn. But Aries, I see you've got your hand up, and we're kind of in your department here as well, so please jump in.
Oh my God, I still can't deal with the fact that I need to raise my hand to to speak in this space, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm that person. And I'm very very like compassionate for Smitty Dow and other brands that have to put their hands into creating content, because it's not the same thing as a person or an influencer or a content creator that does it for himself or herself. It's super hard because people follow people, and you need to come up with content that it's both engaging for your players and future players, and it's a whole new universe. And the best way to go through it is by humanizing and getting people in front of your, being the leads, being the stars of your content. That was a part of our strategy from the beginning when we started doing uh, daily. I'm reading messages by Eldard. He's messaging me on Discord, and I'm getting distracted because I only have one neuron. Stop messaging me, Eldard. Um, but it's hard. But my strategy when I was building brands, and making them be content creators on social media, is to have like a lead person, and make that person kind of our nano micro influencer to be the face of it. Eldart is our face in social media right now. He doesn't know that; he's just found out for the first time. And yeah, and we try to bring value for our players as much as possible, while being, aware. And this is where I say I'm compassionate with Smitty, that we have to put our hands on everything and make everything ourselves. So when you have a small team, you have to do it. You have to make it happen. And I think it's the right approach. So I'm really happy to have you two here, and really love both your jobs in this department.
I think it's very true what you said. I think when you come into web, I think we kind of spoke about it last week. It's like about founder content, and it's like the founders weren't prepared when they came into this that they were going to be having to create content. And to be honest, it's the same with me. When I joined Synergyland, no way did I think I would be on episode 80 of streaming on Twitch. But the stuff just happens, and it's awesome, and it's such a learning experience. I didn't realize how much I would actually enjoy it. To be honest, streaming on Twitch is literally the highlight of my day every day. I mean, it's definitely not just the fact that I get paid to play games, but anyway. So Kyle, you kind of said that when you're thinking of your content ideas, you just rack your brain and then you kind of try to think of what makes you laugh. But is there any kind of method to that madness? Like, is it literally just scrolling through Twitter and seeing what makes you laugh, or do you have like a format for each video that you'd like to try to follow?
Yeah, no, I mean that's an oversimplified version for sure. Um, it's definitely a lot of technical analysis first and foremost. I feel like, because I feel like I understand a lot of writing and like especially like some comedic writing. Not saying I'm the best at comedy writing, but like I get it. I know it makes me laugh. So I feel like the writing part is okay, and pacing and like the structuring and that kind of stuff. So I have that, but the part that like makes things harder is figuring out like who your audience is going to be. Who specifically are you targeting with this? And it gets very granular. You can be targeting YouTube, and that's great, and you can be targeting this broad audience that you don't know who they are, and you're just throwing out a hook into the ocean and hoping that you get a new set of people that are interested in your content. You can also be targeting people on X, and there it's like, okay, well, who are we talking to? Which echo chamber are we in? How far is this going to go? Is this just for a specific community? Who is this joke? Like the rabbit one. I didn't know if the rabbit one would land with you guys. I didn't know if it would land on YouTube. I didn't know who it would work with, but I knew because X helped me write it, our community manager. He was like, I wrote an actual original version that was a little bit different, and then he saw it and was like, oh, we're gonna do rabbits because Eldart was just killing them one day, and I was like, he was like making fun of you for it or trolling you about it, and so I was like, oh, that's genius. Like that fits more in line with the community, and so it could potentially have more interest. And so it's that kind of balance always, is weighing what your options are, finding a direction, and then balancing the variables to get where you're going in the best, most direct way possible.
And I want to say that you don't just write this stuff, come up with ideas, write it, and direct it. You also act in these videos. So you're kind of all the not the triple threat, like four quadruple, quintuple threat. So you do it all, man. So, and that's really really hard. And I think it's what brought me closer to your kind of content, because I was watching and I said, does this guy do it all? I gotta know. I gotta know if this is how it goes. So you gotta play all these games. Do you play all these games and figure out? Okay, you had a tip from one of your teammates, but do you play all the games and try to figure out what might resonate with their audience? How does that work?
First of all, thank you. Thank you. And yeah, that's exactly what I do. I do play all the games, and that's, and spend time in some of the Discords and follow everybody on Twitter. So it's like figuring out, yeah, just got to understand the community, just got to know. And like the beacon video was one where it was like, saw that people were calling beacon bacon, but it already had this thought of like how that sounded similar in my mind, and then just went in like the direction that I thought was funny. But it was very much like only because I had seen people calling it the bacon. I was like, oh, this is going to be something, like this will work.
I actually knew Aries was gonna speak after you spoke, and I'm surprised she didn't start talking about audiences. I was literally gonna bet money that Vanessa was gonna love what you said about like thinking about the audience you're trying to target. I haven't actually seen the Beacon Bacon video, but I was literally just laughing thinking about it.
It's amazing.
So
Go watch
I'm
it.
gonna watch it
Watch it.
after the space. But I wanted to come back to you, Smithy. So you kind of said, from what I gathered, it kind of seemed like you were creating content that is almost kind of leaks, if that makes sense. So can you break down what you're actually posting on YouTube? Like, what was the title of that video, and what does the video actually include, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I can do. I mean, if you want, I can actually get a link to the video so people can check out us. I'm talking about it. So basically, we got 2 grants like a month ago or a month and a bit ago, and basically, as part of those grants, I like to be very transparent with people, especially when we receive money. I like to be very transparent with what we do with it, because I always stand by that we are a team of very productive builders, very fast builders, and I like to let our work show through with that, basically. So so that video was basically just focusing on what we had done in the 2 or 3 weeks since we got those 2 grants, pretty much. And in terms of the content that's in there, it's basically just some of the stuff I mentioned earlier. So it's our progress with our social hub. So you see this nice, beautiful scene drawn by FFA. That's bit in the future is going to be, really expand with lots of other stuff put in there. A bit like any MMO, like if you just go to Lumbridge or Varrock and RuneScape or something, you'd see lots of different shops and things there. That's the sort of direction we'll go with it. And then it also showed a little bit of our dungeon gameplays. So I said I'd done a lot of work on. We had done a lot of work on getting our dungeon game up to speed. So there's some snippets of the gameplay there. And then one of the grants, so it was 2 grants. One was focused on social and the dungeon, and the other was focused on putting governance in our games. So there's just a bit of a demonstration of us using our Legacy Pass NFTs as a form of governance within our game. So in the future, people can use that as a voting mechanism. So it's just a video focused on those grants, pretty much.
That's really cool. So it's like, instead of you just post, I mean, I assume you probably post in your Discord as well, but instead of just posting some massive wall of text on Discord, you're actually creating video content with all your updates, which I think is awesome, because videos are always so much easier to digest than text, right? So you're giving kind of your community an alternate option to consume your new information. So I really like that. You're not just creating content for the sake of it. You're actually putting value, which your information, which your community need to know.
Yeah, precisely. And I mean, so sometimes like I've written like 4 or 5 of these long form Medium articles. So that's what I've done in the past. And I can see on the metrics you get a bunch of people reading them, and you can see how far they've read through, etc. But I think that I don't know. I mean, like, I think quite a lot of people, probably a bit like myself, where you see a big long form of text and you think, oh crap, here we go. It's like you want to digest it, but it's just like, you just don't have the mental willpower to. And I think a video is just easy because you can just stick it on. You don't even have to. You can stick it on and switch tab. You can still listen to it going on. And because our video is narrated, and originally I was just going to make like just a little simple video just for the grant thing, just to show what we had done. But then as I was making it, I was like, well, hold up. I think we can, if I put a bit of effort into this, and it did take me a day or so to do it, like, because I've not really done it before. So I had to spend a bit of time learning what I was doing and something that I felt was good enough to go out there. And I thought if I just put a little bit of effort into this, I can put it on our YouTube. And actually, as I said earlier, if a normal traditional gamer comes across it, then hopefully they might be interested and want to take a look further. So it is it went from originally just serving a purpose of, showcasing what we're doing with our grant to now being something we could use as like a piece of content for marketing.
Awesome. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I have one more question for Carl on this topic, and then we'll be moving on to topic number 2. So, Carl, obviously, I believe your main thing is kind of funny videos. Would you say that funny videos work best? I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what you're trying to achieve, but what would you say is the best type of video for a game that's trying to bring awareness to their project?
Yeah, I would say it is totally dependent on what the game is, who you're targeting. I think more than funny, I think that the thing that was already mentioned was like being able to put a face to something. People love latching onto a person. And so I think like it's not so much about funny, but it's about what personality you bring. And if you can bring a personality that people want to connect with, for me, it works best with humor. That's what I just do in my life. I like when people laugh at me. So it's like comes through. And I think that's what's important, this personality of any sort that people can latch onto.
That's why we have our community troll Eldart and Madelman troll Eldart, so people can have fun watching these moments, but will not laugh at you, laugh with you, hopefully. Because I do believe in it. And I think we have this notion from other presences in social media where fun always stands out because it resonates. People want to have a laugh. And you want to see it in the context of what you're talking about. And in this case, we're talking about games, but if you're talking about other products and stuff like that, people want to see some fun being squeezed out of that, and that type of content, usually, if it's good, of course, and we can dive deep in what is good content or not, but this is not the forum for it. It's I think that's challenging, and making that as much fun for the community. It's challenging, and it's interesting, and surely brings more attention to it. That's my take. Fun brings people together.
Absolutely. It's always about, in any content you make, it's always trying to withdraw an emotion from the viewer. Whether that is humor, whether that's kind of sadness almost, if you can draw that emotion out of them and make them feel it, then your video is going to do much better always. But okay, we've run a little bit over time on topic number 1, as we like to keep the space quick. So topic number 2, the importance of a new game content and keeping the community involved. Obviously, Smithy Dow, your kind of example you were giving us for the first topic kind of linked back into topic number 2. But maybe you just want to talk a little bit about ways other than the YouTube video that you do keep your community involved in your kind of building process of new game content. Like you said, you've got your dungeon crawler coming out soon. How does the community how do you share your progress on that with the community other than on YouTube?
So something we've done a lot of and we're big fans of is getting our community to come test the game early. So before we were doing our dungeon game, we was building a MOBA game, which we are still building, but dungeons take a bit more of a front pedal still, as it were. But basically, for that MOBA game, the character controller system, the combat and everything, has been basically exported straight over to the dungeon crawler. And what we'd do is we'd set up game nights, which would be with our own community, which would be with other communities that might be interested, guilds, etc. And basically, we'll just get people to come play the game. And every single one of those games, because we didn't hook up the matchmaking to those sessions, one of us had to be in there to start the server and get people to join, etc. So every single one of those sessions where people are playing, you've got real live playing data, and you can look at some videos on our Twitter or X, sorry, where we have up to 40 people or 50 people on this one map. Maps designed for just 6 people, the actual game mode. And basically, we're there talking to the people, and we're there interacting with them. And some people, they'll leave a comment, they'll complain about something, or they'll say this is good, that's not good, or whatever. And we listen to every single comment. We listen to every single comment that comes out, and then what we do is we then feed that into what we're building, essentially. And also, like, we've got our mining game that's out already, live. People play it. People are earning resources, and people. Whenever we release an update or something, or even in between updates, people will leave feedback. We have a channel in our Discord for feedback where players will say what they're interested in seeing or what they'd like, and a lot of these things are quality of life, things like they want certain things around zooming in or rotating a camera or whatever it is. It's a lot of it's quality of life stuff, but we do read and listen and look at every single one of those comments, because we're building our game, but at the end of the day, part of what makes a game is the community associated around it. And one of the most frustrating things you see in traditional gaming, and why some games fail, is when the developers don't listen to the community. Like, the developers, you need to build a game that you think's fun and follows your design, but at the end of the day, your community are your customers. Other people are going to be playing the game. They're the ones that are going to be enjoying the game. You need to build it a little bit around them and take some feedback from what they would like to see into it, as long as it fits with your general game design and all the rest of it.
Start calling you Crafty Gem. You're dropping some gems there, brother. Absolutely love it.
Thank you.
I would say, you said that, sometimes people will complain or leave a comment complaining. I would say that is ideally what you want, especially in those test sessions. You kind of want to get as many people complaining as possible so you can quickly see what the problems are and fix them, because obviously you're doing these kind of play tests. So that's awesome. And as I said, I think you dropped multiple gems there. The community is the key. Of course, you're building your game, but who are you building it for? You're building it for your community, right? If you were building it for yourself, then you wouldn't bother with this whole project, So absolutely love what you had to say there, Smithy. We'll come back to you. Oh, you
precisely.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to add a little bit on. Just precisely. We're building it for people, and at the end of the day, even if people give constructive criticism that to change some things around, none of us on the team have egos. At the end of the day, we'll read it, we'll listen to it, and if it makes sense to add it, we'll get it added and changed.
100%. Love that. That's the correct attitude to have. So Kyle, obviously the topic is the importance of new game content and keeping the community involved. You seem like you have some cool methods, I would say. So is there maybe something you've thought of that would be like a cool way to keep the community engaged during times of kind of waiting for the devs to code?
Man, I can't say that I'm a pro in that field, just to start off on a back foot, but I definitely had my fair share of doing that and trying to figure it out when I was doing marketing for kaiju cards. And that was always something. It was one of the biggest challenges. And I think what Smithy's talking about is exactly like the biggest thing of trying to figure out like what is worth listening to and what's not really worth listening to. Because sometimes you could go down a path where you're just like, this is a waste of money and a waste of time. But other times, like ideas that you never thought of could be huge. I think everybody takes their own approach to it. It's like either Discord games or some kind of like community involvement. I love the idea where there's always just something to do, but that require like something to do in game. And I think that's always what keeps people coming back to games. But like games have their own life flow. And I think to expect people to like always be playing a game is crazy. I mean, like look at Helldivers 2, for example. Like that game was smashing it. And then like now not that many people are playing, and they're trying really hard to bring people back in by trying all these things. But it's like, we're in an attention economy, and like that's the whole point of everything. So it's not always about the game. And I think that's kind of what makes crypto games cool, is it becomes more about like the brand and what you can do around it and the whole community. And so it's finding ways
to involve the community in other stuff. And I think a big part of that to me was always like, I love content. I love trying to be creative and get people to be creative and have fun and just like joke around and play. And so finding ways to be able to involve people is huge. And it typically requires some sort of rewards, which makes it more difficult because that costs money. But like, it's all about being clever with how you're going to get them to like do the things that make them take time. I think whatever you can get them to do that takes more time and gives them a sense of ownership is like the best.
Absolutely. And I think with the feedback side of things from the community, from doing playtests and stuff, I think one thing that obviously as I said before, you kind of want people to complain, but there's never going to be a world where you make every person happy. No matter what you do, no matter what you develop, you're never going to please everybody. There's always going to be someone that has something to say or complain about, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I think a lot of times, I'm not a developer myself, but I can assume developers probably get caught up in this loop of trying to make everything perfect or trying to kind of be in line with what the community want and everything. But if it doesn't stay in line with what the game was originally planned to do and the lure and all this kind of stuff, it gets tricky. And like I said, it's impossible, really is impossible to make everyone happy. Even if you gave everyone all the play to earn rewards they want and features they want, there's still going to be things they will complain about. Aries, your hand is up. I'm passing to you.
It's lore, not lure.
Okay. Agree to disagree. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Does anybody have anything else to say on either of the topics before we squeeze some alpha? Okay. It is time for the alphas then. Mr. Kyle, is there anything you would like to let us know? Any videos you're working on? Anything you're looking into at the moment? Any projects you really are looking into or like? Please give us some alpha, sir.
Yeah. There's some cool thing that's going to be coming soon with me and Treasure and something pretty regular that's going to like expand us beyond just like the general ecosystem. So I'm pretty excited for that. I don't know how much I can really talk about that yet, but that's
just had word from Treasure. You can talk about it a lot. So please continue.
That's all. I think that's all I'm going to say. Let's just say it's going to involve a lot of me talking. But yeah, there's going to be some interesting stuff coming that way. And then videos, I'm always just coming up with new ones. I shot two yesterday that I love. I got to get like a King Arthur and a King Arthur costume and a big foam sword, and shot like a whole fight sequence inside of the Knights of the Ether like landscape. So I actually like, used the background and put it on green screen. So hopefully it'll look as cool as it did in camera and in my mind. But yeah, just kind of been testing a new direction of things that are a little bit more generic with the hooks for YouTube. And that's led to a lot more like gamer oriented videos that I'm pretty excited to share because it feels like they'll have pretty broad appeal, which is going to be nice.
Awesome. Okay, this has made me just think of one more question that I have for you. Do you have like a set amount of videos you want to create per week or per month, or do you kind of just let the creative juices flow?
I want to personally make as many as I can and get as far ahead of myself as I possibly can with just having videos ready on deck. I think that there's this sort of two things. One is like I always want to have at least one video per week for YouTube Shorts just for the algo and playing that whole game. And then Twitter is as many as I can make, but most of them are funneling over to YouTube. And then also it's paying attention to like what are popular topics at the moment or if something new pops up. So it's always giving myself space for like around 3. 3 is like my benchmark and trying to achieve more than that, but generally about 3 per week.
And 3 per week. Okay, cool. Oh, awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on the space. Obviously, we're not quite finished, but you've dropped some amazing information so far. Smithy Dow, please tell us a little bit more about your dungeons. And I also saw in your Discord, I mean, last time you were on the Tavern, we spoke a bit about your pickaxe mint, but I saw in your Discord that you've now sold out on your golden pickaxes, if I remember correctly. Let us know.
Oh, yeah. So gold pickaxes, yeah, they sold out 2 months ago, I think. Yeah, so the mint was in June and it took us about a month to fully sell out. But yeah, no, that's all sold out. Wooden pickaxes, yeah, I think we've got like 2,500 of them were minted. So yeah, pretty good numbers of that. in terms of what's immediately coming out, so yeah, we got our dungeon. That's what we're working on, sort of full steam ahead. There's going to be a complete combat overhaul as well. So what people used to do with a MOBA, we took a lot of feedback. We had a big think, and basically we're going to make it so that the combat is a lot more juicy. Is probably the best word for it. You know, so instead of just doing like one attack, you can chain attacks. There's now jump functionality. So even though our game's 2D, we've got this like vertical depth to it now. And then the blood and gore stuff, I'm going to be releasing the video soon. But Shadow spent like a whole couple days making it so that when you kill a spider, it's like arms explode off and blood goes over it. It's proper gnarly is a word I'd use to describe that one. So yeah, there's a hell of a lot of work gone into that. The dungeon is going to be coming out for first testing probably in the next month or so, as I said. It's just going to be solo to start off with, but the dungeon is fully networked, so we've built it with multiplayer in mind, and that means that actually hopefully it shouldn't take us too long to then put in co-op, and that is our aim for it, is to make it so that you can basically go from the social hub, the MMO, you can party up with people, then you can head into the dungeon and you can have up to 4 of you running around together as a co-op experience in there. Although that'll be coming a little bit later on. Also, something else, we will have weapon upgrading coming out shortly after the first iteration of a dungeon comes out. So we have our weapon NFT collection, which Shadow might have mentioned last time, but basically people with the resources they earn from the mines, you'll be able to start using that to actually upgrade your weapons, craft armor, equip this to your character, and then use that within the MOBA and the dungeon and any other live action mode that comes out. And then actually something really cool I was speaking to Shadow about today, which, you know, this is like this stuff we were talking about today actually, is that we want to make player dungeon editing. So we've started thinking about how we can build it so that actually players will be able to build their own dungeons at some point. And this is something that we want to get prototyped pretty quickly, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm a massive like Age of Empires nerd. I played Rise of Nations. I love my RTS games, and something I used to do was not even play the game. I used to spend like an hour just building a map because I'm sad and had no life when I was a teenager, and I also have no life nowadays. And yeah, so like something we want to do is actually make it so that our players can make dungeons, and then, you know, you can play each other's dungeons, and, you know, people will get like a ranking based on how people do in there. And, you know, it works pretty similar to how people build games in Fortnite. You know, people can build their own little maps. We want to do something similar. And I think that touched on a point Kyle was speaking about a while ago about games have a natural lifespan, but actually there are some things you can do to make games last a while. Like Fortnite is still going strong, and it's been released. I mean, I played that in my first year of uni, sort of several years ago. You know, user-generated content, whether it's having a good modding community or having people be able to make dungeons, prolongs the lifespan of games. Like, the reasons people still play Skyrim nowadays is because of the modding community, I think. So that's something that we're definitely going to tap into in the future. And that's sort of hot alpha in the sense that this is something we really want to bring into our game. And I don't know of many other Web3 games, if there is any other that are doing that. So that's something we're really keen to put in.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds crazy. That sounds really cool. I think what you said about the modding of the games is very true. It's like I used to play a lot of 5M, which is the GTA 5 modded servers and stuff. And I used to love that. So I think that would definitely, like you said, kind of increase the lifespan of your game. And one thing I am very much looking forward to is seeing Carl dressed as a spider and watching his arms fly off on a green screen video.
Yeah, he's always welcome to, if he wants any art from us to get inspiration, he's always welcome to come and ask. Yeah.
Awesome. And when you do start playtesting your dungeons, hit us up and we will do some type of community game night event playtest, and we'll get our dungeon runners in there as well, and we can give you guys some feedback and have an awesome night.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, I mean, I love that you guys do. Yeah, I think I watched one once actually. You like Twitch stream your game, and the trouble is our mining game, you can't really stream it because it's just like a passive idle. It's like a sort of game you do when you're sitting on the toilet and you just load it up and you flick on it for a few minutes, like you're playing Clash of Clans or something. Whereas actually the dungeon is something that you'll be in there for 15-20 minutes waiting for. So definitely 100%. I'd love to get you guys on there. We can all be there streaming it, talking about it. Yeah, that'd be great.
For sure, we'll have to set something up. So let us know when you've got maybe a more concrete date in mind, and we can organise something for sure. But okay, guys, as I said, we have to keep the tavern short and sweet. We've done our topics, done our intros, done our Synergy Land updates, and we've squeezed some alpha. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to get Carl to slip up and tell us what Treasure has planned with him, but maybe next time, or maybe we'll see it before then. Anyway, that was Tavern episode 36, guys. I appreciate everyone tuning in, listening to us. It's been a pleasure as always, and I look forward to next Thursday with episode number 37. Again, thank you very much, Kyle and Crafty Pie from Smithy Dow joining us, and of course everyone in the audience. Wouldn't be here without you guys. And as I said at the start, as Vanessa said at the start, the Carve leaderboard is resetting, but of course you guys get Carve points for being here on stream. Vanessa has hopefully been screenshotting you guys joining. Obviously that was what I messaged her earlier when she was speaking and she couldn't then concentrate. But I will set the Carve mission up immediately for you guys after this space. Thank you very much all for joining, and I hope everyone has an amazing Thursday morning, evening, night, wherever you are. Love you all. Peace out. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Smithy Dow. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.
No, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.